Hi, I am Amy and I'm the founder of Panama Dog Rescue. And this here is Bimbo. Bimbo was one of the first dogs that we helped as a Panama Dog Rescue. This was about 2 years ago. And Bimbo had a Panamanian owner who didn't treat her very well. He beat her and he didn't feed her properly. And then one day he just decided to leave, so he abandoned her in the village and she became a stray dog and she had to compete with all of the other stray dogs in Karibikküste, which is the village just here. And Bimbo is not a very clever dog at all, but one day she did make a very good decision and she decided to follow me home. And once we got her back home, we gave her some medicine and we gave her some food and we obviously gave her a lot of love. And Bimbo did not leave. But then we realized a few weeks later that actually it wasn't just Bimbo. Bimbo was actually pregnant. And so a few weeks later on, it was us, Bimbo, and 5 puppies. So we found homes and we raised the puppies and we found homes for all of them. But Bimbo has been with us ever since. And there are so many dogs like Bimbo in Karibikküste. The streets are full of stray dogs, and that's one of the biggest reasons that we set up Panama Dog Rescue. It's heartbreaking to see the dogs competing for food and the locals treating them badly because they're treated as pests. There's just too many of them, and so they end up being treated like a problem. So Panama Dog Rescue was set up first and foremost with this in mind. We wanted to try to maintain the population, and we also do other things too. So we set up spay clinics, which helps to spay and neuter the animals, but we also go into the villages and we give out medicine and we show the local population how to actually interact with the dogs and also how they can fix small problems and make a real difference, because we want to fix this long term. And we really believe that that comes from working with the local population. It's really easy, I think, to come into a place like this with a different opinion of how we treat pets and how we treat animals and be quite judgmental and quite critical. But there are so many other factors that we don't take into consideration, like the level of income. Income around here is between $10 to $12 a day. So it's not easy for people to afford medicine and to afford to get their animals spayed. Then, of course, there's the level of education. The nearest vet here is about 45 minutes away, and there is nobody here to actually show people how to look after and protect the animals. And then finally, there's support. The government here in Panama just doesn't help maintain or reduce the amount of animals that there are in this area. So with that in mind, we really want to make sure that we can do what we can do. And we do have our priorities in the spay clinics. When we set Panama Dog Rescue up, we started doing crowdfunding. And since then, we've relied on some individual, very generous donors. But we're at the point now where we really want to expand. And the brilliant thing is that we are now people in the local villages, in the local population, they now come to us and they ask us for help and support, advice, and also if they can attend to the next spay clinic. So we're making huge amounts of progression and we want to continue that. So how can we use volunteers? I am really excited. I think there's so many possibilities for how we could incorporate volunteers here. We would need people to come and help go into the villages and talk to the local population, give out medicine, and help with the general level of education. We would also need volunteers at the actual spay clinics to help with the dogs, with the pre-care and the aftercare, and collecting the dogs and making sure that they're okay after the operation. Of course, we are desperate for vets to come along and actually operate on the dogs. But we also would love some help with things like our social media and maintaining our websites and increasing our network of support, because to do this, we need to increase the amount of money that we actually have. The next big step for Panama Dog Rescue is to actually become an official NGO. and for that we will need to raise money also. So any sort of advice and support on fundraising would be incredible. I really think that the experience of coming here is an incredible one, because it really helps with a deeper sort of travel. You end up experiencing a real local culture. You will be totally out of your comfort zone. It's very, very rural, and it's a really unique setting. But the other side of that is you get to see something from a totally different perspective, and you get to make a real difference in a very short amount of time. So if you are adventurous, if you think that you could cope with being in a real rural setting, if you like animals, and if you want to come to Panama, maybe Panama Dog Rescue would be a good place for you to come.